If you're on the hunt for actionable insights on escaping the corporate grind, embracing entrepreneurship, and building financial freedom, then you've found your guide. Welcome to the Deep Dive with Drake, where the success stories of real entrepreneurs unfold. Join host Drake Abshire as he delves into creating a multifaceted entrepreneurial career, inspired by his impactful Southern heritage. The stage is set. Let's embark on this journey with Drake.
So excited to have you guys here tuning in. I know there are a million other podcasts out there that you can be listening to, but you take the time out of your day to hear me, and I so appreciate this. Today, I brought in a special guest for you guys. I feel like marketing obviously is such a huge part of entrepreneurship, and how can you find leads for your business? Of course, real estate agents always need it, but any business always has to think about where can they find leads? How can they get them to come in and grow their business? And I've really found the master of it. His name is Gannon Meyer, and he is a marketing specialist. He does specialize specifically in real estate content, but he comes from the world of lead generation. So I'm sure many of the things he's going to teach you today can be applied across the board to other businesses. But yeah, he crafts killer social media content for realtors, specifically sales funnels, and helps you get online leads through generation. So Gannon, introduce yourself to our people. They don't know who you are. Tell them a little bit about you.
Yeah, firstly, it sounds weird when people call me the master of lead generation. I don't think that's the case, but it's very flattering. So yeah, my name is Gannon. I started a marketing agency back in 2020 after I graduated college. That was first job out of school, was selling life insurance, and I hated it. Didn't do any sales. I was there for like 2 months and left and bought a camera with my last $300. From there, basically did a ton of free work for local businesses. I did it for restaurants, bars, breweries, real estate agents, dental offices, basically any service-based business. I probably did a free photo shoot for them just to kind of build up a portfolio of work, and got enough of a portfolio built up to move into a full-time position at a company called Ylopo, which is where I spent 3 years basically soaking up and learning everything I could about marketing. I just became obsessed with it. I was literally studying marketing for fun until like 4 a.m. and I would just wake up at 10 a.m. and do it all over again. Luckily, I've changed my sleep pattern over the past 4 years. But yeah, right now I just make content for myself and basically teach service-based businesses. Most of the time is real estate, but it applies to every other kind of niche. How to generate leads on social media for free, because that's what I did. I didn't have any money to start with. And I think right now is the best time to generate leads organically and not spend thousands of dollars on ads, because you honestly don't need to, which is why I do this full time now. And I do not manage ads for another company because I don't really believe in it. So here we are. Been a long 4 years.
Awesome. So social media, it's been a game changer, obviously, in the past few years for a lot of businesses, especially in real estate. So what would you say has been a secret sauce that you found for creating content that grabs attention and, starts conversations online? Because we know that's what ultimately everybody's trying to do.
Yeah, I think it's difficult because my content is mostly on Instagram, right? So I pay attention to that algorithm more than anything, but it's pretty similar across the board, whether it's on TikTok, on YouTube. I don't really post on Facebook, so I can't really speak to Facebook. But the big thing is like just creating content that is essentially share worthy. And I think it's very easy to do for real estate because you find a pretty house, you do a property walkthrough video of it. Chances are people are going to share it with other people. And that's kind of the big thing. But there are a few different things that you can do. And I'm sure we'll get into this about like basically any topic, any niche. So there's a few different things that you can do with your videos that, do apply to any niche, which again, we'll get into probably throughout this podcast. But in terms of like what works right now and what like secret tips I can give out, I think the biggest one is ManyChat. Honestly. It has just completely changed the game. It's how I was able to start my business from zero. So I left my full-time position in January. I had basically no leads. I had like 200 people in my database and they probably wanted nothing to do with me. And from January until the beginning of March, so roughly a month and a half-ish, I got close to 3,000 leads for free from ManyChat through Instagram, just posting content. I had a few videos get over like 3 million views. And I think right now, year to date, we're over like 17 million views on Instagram. And I post like maybe once a day. I don't post millions of posts like a lot of people do. So something seems to be working. But if there's one thing that has worked really well that I can speak to, it is for sure ManyChat and lead generation on there. So we can dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, no, you were the one who introduced me. I knew it existed, but I never knew how to work it. And that's why I found what you do always so interesting and so helpful with my business and the things that you've been doing, because I've been a victim of many people's ManyChat funnels through Instagram and things like that, and not really understanding how it works on the back end. Because if it works on me, I know it's working on other people. So it just makes sense. What would you say would be maybe some juicy success stories that you've had with social media strategies that have made you, or made somebody go from zero to hero?
Well, I think it's worth explaining like how ManyChat works for anybody who doesn't understand it. It's very simple. It's very simple to explain, very hard to set up. So the way it works is, let's just say you are a realtor in Lafayette, Louisiana, right? And you have a property that's 123 Main Street, and it's your listing, and you want to create a virtual property tour video of that. So you go to the listing, you grab your phone, you grab your gimbal, you do a property walkthrough, and then you have somebody spice it up, make it look nice for social media, then you post it, right? Normally what happens is, you tell people to DM you or click the link in the bio or comment and for more information, and then you have to go out and chase those people around and get them to go to the website or get them to give you their contact information. It's basically like pulling teeth. It's just not very successful. So what ManyChat does and what you can do with it is basically tell people to comment a specific keyword. So that keyword theoretically could be 123, right? Because the property address is 123 Main Street. That person would then get an automatic message from you saying, hey, I saw you requested more information about 123 Main Street. I can send you this information on the website, all of these photos, all the pricing information, where it's located, all the amenities, the whole nine. And then you would get their contact information in exchange for that information. So name, email, phone number, and then you send that person to the website, whether it's through like Zillow or whatever, right? Because you want to be able to get that person's contact information and know they are looking, or at least in the market. And now listen, that's a real estate example. So like 99 out of 100 people that go through that automation are probably not going to do business at least for another year, right? So that's just real estate. So even if you pay for leads in real estate, that's also going to be the case. It might be like 3 people out of 100. So you're like 2% better or 200% better, but the number's only 2. Difference is 2 people. So that's how it works. In terms of like success stories, we have had people post a video. So one of the videos that we did, Drake, was about HomeBot, right? So you get the HomeBot report, pull it up, break down the report, and tell people if they want to go through the HomeBot report themselves, they just have to comment the word HomeBot and they'll get the link to go there. So one of the clients that we had this for, she posted the video and got like 2 or 3 listing leads from the one video, and they're all in her market. And yeah, I spent 3 years working for digital marketing, basically running seller lead generation. And the leads that we generated there were bare minimum like $80 on Google PPC.
Say that one more time.
You got an email. Yeah, the leads that we got from seller PPC on Google were like $80 bare minimum in most markets. And if you were in like Los Angeles or Miami or like any vacation market, you probably, you couldn't even do it. Not that LA is a vacation market, but you get my point. Like it's a expensive area, and there's way too much competition. But she got 3 from one post that she put on Instagram that were in her market wanting to sell for free. Because of that automation. So all she did was make the video, hey, here's how HomeBot works. If you want this report for yourself, comment HomeBot, name, email, phone number. They go to HomeBot, they enter their address, go through the report. I mean, that just saved her a setup fee of probably like $1,000, maybe even more, plus $250 in ads. I mean, you're looking at $1,500 easy after everything all said and done. So it works.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, so the platforms are constantly changing. How do you think you stay ahead of the curve and keep the best strategies that are fresh and effective?
Well, you can do it yourself, which would be spending your time listening to podcasts and reading articles and scrolling social media, which is what I do. Or you can follow somebody that does the work for you and just listen to what they say. So like, again, like Instagram is my main platform right now. So I it's really all I pay attention to. TikTok is, who knows what's going on with TikTok. YouTube is great, but their algorithm's pretty much always been the same. So there's really nothing to pay attention to. Just make a good thumbnail and make a good video. That's pretty much it. Focus on retention. But Instagram always changes. So I listen to podcasts with the CEO right now of Instagram is just going around and interviewing creators like crazy. I think he's just doing like a PR stunt for Instagram. I don't really know what his deal is, but he's done 5 podcasts in the past month or so. So I pay attention to those things. I feel like the CEO of the company probably knows what's going on and how to use it. So that's a good source of information. But yeah, like I would just, follow your favorite creators. Your favorite creators, if they're big enough, they probably interview the heads of these companies. Like Adam Mosseri is the head of Instagram. So he just did a podcast with Colin and Samir, which I made a video on. That video right now has 130,000 views on Instagram. And that's just basically breaking down like, oh, the Instagram algorithm just changed. The CEO revealed this secret metric that nobody knows about. That's actually not even in the platform. And that is shares divided by the number of reach from that video. And that's actually the most important metric that we otherwise would have not known had he not gone on the podcast and told us. So like things like that. Like there's very sporadic. And it's also trial and error too. Like thankfully the videos of people telling you to read the caption and like dancing on screen and like saying, oh, read the caption for more information, those are pretty much over, I think.
I hope.
And longer videos are performing better right now. I just posted that video I posted that has 130,000 views is like 45 seconds, 50 seconds. It sounds crazy to say that's a long video, but it's long for a short video.
Yeah.
It's a long short video.
Okay. So piggybacking off of the metrics part, we know metrics are so crucial, but what are the numbers that you think that people need to be looking at that really is creating that sales funnel so they know it's doing their job and like they're getting the best results?
For a sales, so I want to make sure I'm answering the question. So like for the sales funnel, do you mean just like the organic, like ManyChat side of it? And they're like converting like maybe number of people who saw it into number of leads? Or do you want to have me like kind of separate that in between like organic content into ManyChat? There's a few different ways I can answer the question.
Yeah, I guess I would answer it on both sides. Say, what's the kind of content metrics you need to be looking for that would make a good sales funnel type of piece of content, I guess.
Cool. Yeah. So if you're going to use a ManyChat automation to get leads from, let's just say a properties or a video, I would say, look at engagement rate. So engagement rate is going to include your comments, right? I think an engagement rate above 2.5 to 3% is great, which basically means, it does include saves and shares, which is fine. But if you can get 1 to 2 people out of every 100 to become a lead included in that for free, like I'm saying, if you're getting a 2% conversion rate from a paid ad, you might want to rethink the ad. If you're getting a 1% to 2% conversion rate from a post on social media that was free, that probably didn't reach the right amount of people or the right people, it's actually pretty good. Like you're not paying for those leads. And for the most part, people who are engaged with your content, want to engage with what you have to offer. They might want to meet with you in person. If you're a local agent, they might want to hop on a Zoom call with you, or eventually, like if you sell digital products, like buy those products. That's what I do right now, and it works. So I would look at that, right? I would just, see if out of every 100 people that see your video, how many of them become a lead. And if that's like 1, 2, or 3, anything above that or in that range is good. The other thing I would say right now, based off of what I just told you about the CEO, is you want to be able to create content that is shareable. And I think the easiest way you do that, and this is speaking for real estate only, is with nice properties, right? Because I'm not saying followers don't matter, they do, but like followers shouldn't be your most important metric. But it's always cool when you go to somebody's profile or somebody comes to your profile and they're like, dude, you have 28,000 followers. Like it just adds some legitimacy to that, right? Not everybody's going to buy, right? Like don't associate revenue with a high follower count, but it's always good to have those followers because that there's a lot of interest in what you're talking about, number one, and it adds legitimacy to your business, right? People pay for followers. And I think anybody with a brain knows that you paid for your followers because you have 412,000 followers and the property picture that you split up has 4 likes and it's been 3 days. So like that, nothing's adding up here. The Instagram algorithm is not that bad. It should show to at least 40,000 people if you're talking about 10%. So yeah, look at those metrics. Conversion rate for a lead to reach to a lead should be about 1 to 3%, and create shareable content where, going back to the CEO's conversation about the shares, do shares divided by the number of people reached. And that will give you a good estimate of like how viral worthy is this? And in my experience, that number has been like 4%. So for every 100 people that it reaches, 4 of those people shared it somewhere, because that's just, it's going to start compounding and you'll reach more and more people.
Yeah. Do you think that there are any downfalls or any kind of big traps that people need to watch for when working with these kinds of systems for leads?
I think the best, or you'll have the most success when you have a good system in place for follow-up, because nobody is just going to buy from you the first time they get a message and they look at a link or they download something from you. It's just not going to happen, right? It might happen on YouTube because you have a stronger connection with your audience. It's a longer video, so they trust you more. Maybe you put out more content on YouTube, but you can run the best like lead generation sales funnel through ManyChat. You can get absolutely nothing from it. Like nothing. You can get thousands of leads and generate 0 sales. Right? It really comes down to how good your follow-up is. And that's one of the things that I learned from my previous job was like, I always had calls with clients that are like, we're spending $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month on ads. We're getting all these leads, but we're not getting anything. I'm like, well, look at your CRM and tell me why. Like I'm going to pull up your dashboard and you tell me why you think this is not working out for you. And it's like, oh, well, it takes me 3 days to call a new lead that comes through. I usually contact them one time and I never text them or email them. Right. And I don't leave voicemails. Well, I mean, there's your answer.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Right. So it's the same thing. Like you're generating leads in a different way, but the process of the follow-up is still the same. Right. And if you give it a week, depends on what you sell, but if you give it a week and if you're getting leads but nothing's happening, don't compare. Like I've been doing this for 4 years. Like don't compare my day 1200 something to your day 7, right? Like you're just not going to get people invested fully in a week. It takes a very long time for people to give you their money. Like they worked hard for it and it's going to take more time. So if there's one thing that people get wrong about this, like the setting it up is the easy part. Even though I told you a little bit a while ago, it's like very hard to do. That's actually the easiest part of it. The hard part is converting those leads that come through, which is it comes down to your system and how your team is set up.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And I know we already touched on this, but are there any latest techs, tools or gadgets or anything that you think can supercharge, things that people are using? So like ManyChat, I know you mentioned HomeBot, any others you can think of?
Yeah, I mean, there's a million of them. I can kind of walk you through like my process of making content. I think it's like super streamlined and easy to do, although I have spent $1 million on equipment, which I'm not proud of. But yeah, there's tools that can make it easy. Like I think one of the things that we're very good at is going to Instagram and seeing how polished some of these content creators' videos are, and then we get discouraged because we can't make that. It's becoming very much. It's very easier. Very easy now to make content that looks really good. So my process, although I edit almost everything in Premiere and I have the whole setup here with all the lights in the background, and make it look good. My process, I always start with like researching topics that people would be interested in. And I do that through vidIQ, which is for YouTube specifically. You can use that for Instagram. You can use Google Trends or just like pay attention and don't live under a rock, because there are going to be big topics that come out that relate to your industry that you need to share. And that research is always done in one of those 3 ways, right? So vidIQ, Google Trends, or don't live under a rock. That translates into the writing part of it. I don't use ChatGPT. I write all of my videos word for word. I don't use any AI tool for that. I've just always been a good writer, I'm comfortable with it and I like doing it. But I plan all my content in Notion, so I have an entire Notion calendar that says, all right, on Tuesday of this week, I'm going to post this video, and then on Friday, I'll write the videos, or whenever I have inspiration, I'll write the video ideas for the next week. So I would organize your content in that way in Notion, and then for recording the video, there's a few different ways you can do this. So my most complicated way, which is the way I do it, is I record it straight to my camera I have a Sony ZV-E1. It's the worst name I've ever heard in my life. It's just so difficult to pronounce. Like, can we just call it like Sony Camera 2 or something?
Right.
But ZV-E1 is the one I use. And that connects right to my computer, and I can see the preview of my camera on my computer. I just hit record, and then I record my audio separately. So I have this fancy microphone, XLR, SM7B that goes right into my interface. I record the audio and video separately, and then I sync it up in the recording section, which is Premiere. If you're not familiar with Premiere, do not familiarize yourself with Premiere. It will take you years to learn. I've been doing this for 4 years, so that's why I use it. I would use a software like Submagic. You can use CapCut, but anytime, if you really want to take it seriously, I would use a video editing agency, because otherwise your content is just going to look like everything else that everyone's been putting out online, and there's really no way you can stand out. Like, the captions are the same, the jump cuts are the same, the transitions are the same, the B-roll is the same, the music's the same. Like, at that point, you better be like celebrity status. Like, you can go up to like, Family Feud and host that show tomorrow if Steve Harvey, for whatever reason, just decided not to host it. Like, you got to be like really good on camera, and most people are not, right? So like, you have to figure out a way to differentiate your content from everybody else's. If you just want to put out volume, just use one of those things I just mentioned. So Submagic.co is a good one. CapCut is a good one. Captions is a good one. I've used all of them. I just am not able to portray my personality and have the customizability, is that a word? I don't really know. In those videos with those platforms, because they do make it super easy to use, but it's not for people who want to make crazy looking content like I do. So yeah, that's the recording section. And then posting, if you're going to post to Instagram Reels, just post it from your phone. Don't use like Hootsuite or anything like that, because that typically, I don't know what Instagram did to their algorithm, but it just, for whatever reason, every time I post a video from there, the video sucks. And I repost it from my phone and it does 10 times better. So that is, just want to see if I'm missing anything. Yeah, there's different other different tools that you can use too. Like, if your microphone, if it's just your phone, you can upload your footage or your audio to Adobe Speech Enhancer. That'll get rid of all the background noise. Clearly, I have background noise right now. You could probably hear, because it is 95 degrees out and I have my air conditioner. But if I was recording a video, I would just use that, and it gets rid of all the muffled sound in the background. Other than that, I think those are all the different tools that you can use.
Awesome. So I guess to pass on some more nuggets of wisdom, what would you say to an agent who's a rookie in the industry right there? What would you say they should really focus on? They may not have big budgets or know exactly what's going to work for their brand. So where would you have them start?
For lead generation, I would do as many open houses as you possibly can, go to as many listings as you can, and make as many videos as you can. If you just want to get traffic to your page and get people interacting with your content and seeing you everywhere, if you literally have no budget at all, it's going to take a while. It took me a couple of years to do it, but it pays off. If you focus on like Instagram, YouTube, I would do those two platforms. So like Instagram, it's easy to interact with people. Like YouTube, you don't have like DMs or anything. So like, you have to basically dig for their email through YouTube. But YouTube's going to be good because, for example, if you're a real estate agent, like, it's good for relocation buyers. Like, not often you're not really going to have people that are looking to sell their home from YouTube, because YouTube is very search heavy. Most people will look on Google or just find some other agent that they found through 5-star reviews on Google and be like, hey, like, can you list my home? Right. On YouTube, it's like, all right, what is it like living in Lafayette, Louisiana? I want to know. And the first video that I pick is probably going to be from a realtor, and they know their market and they probably make a lot of videos about it. So I'm going to listen to them, maybe subscribe, and then follow them on Instagram. And Instagram, they have stories and they have DMs and they have comments and everything, so you can interact that way. But I would just do those two platforms and just post listing videos, honestly, and just create a system that makes it super easy for you to do. You can just use the exact system I explained with Notion and recording the video. And yeah, you can even find a cheap video editor for like $20 a video. If you're doing 5 videos a week, it's $400 a month. It's if you find one closing out of that, I'm talking like, what's that? $400 a month. It's like $5,000. I mean, you make $5,000 from a listing and a closing. Well, maybe not a buyer agent deal right now with NAR, but yeah, if you close one deal, which you will from that, if you do it consistently for a year, there's actually no way. It's physically, it is impossible not to close at least one deal if you're doing everything right over the course of a year. So I would do listing videos for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I love that you're kind of saying they can just bring the phone with them and have that camera rolling in whatever they're doing in their agent duties, right? Open houses, go and look at properties and previewing, and really it's just documenting. People love that kind of style of content. I'm actually seeing a lot of content, I feel like, starting to go that direction, where people want this like day in the life stuff of a real estate agent. And what are you doing? What are the outfits they wear? What do they drive? What are they having for lunch? Like, it's crazy that they want to just peer into your life. But that's the kind of content I'm seeing a lot of people are really wanting and producing. And I guess from just a organic standpoint, not necessarily just the sales funnels, but people are just interested in your life as a person, your brand, right? And what you do on a daily basis. Because some people honestly have no idea. I mean, I don't know what your day looks like, from your marketing standpoint, dealing with multiple clients in that direction. I know what mine looks like as an agent, sitting on the phone, emails, calls, like all the ugly side of it. And I'm sure yours has that grueling side too. But what do you think keeps you with the creative juices flowing, and that way you can continue like pushing the envelope with all this stuff?
Wish I knew. I mean, I definitely get into periods where I just don't want to make a video. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, right now, thankfully, I think it's when I find a new style or somebody that I can get inspiration from and kind of mimic is when I get excited about making content. I mean, for the longest time, I think I did it for like 4 months probably. I was just doing those top-down drawing shots. A lot of it was very formulaic. I could never be a musician, like a popular musician, because everything is a formula, and I'm sure it gets very boring for them. And when they do experiment, people tend to be like, this is garbage, and I will never listen to you again. I don't think that's the case with content creators, thankfully. Like, you're allowed to change what you do, and it's not going to hurt your reputation if one video falls off. And I think finding those new styles of video and testing different things and keeping yourself excited is what you have to do. So if that means going out and buying a drone and getting new shots of a listing, that's going to be fun. Like, it's expensive. It's going to be like $400 for the drone. But like, it's between that and never posting a video again for most people. So like, figure out a way to have fun when you're making content. And you're going to run into times where you just don't have a lot of inspiration and you feel like you have no video ideas. And I'm telling you right now, like, no matter what course you buy or how many different people will tell you like they have the answer to that, they don't. It really just comes down to you having the motivation and discipline to get in front of a camera or just go out and record a video. And I'm telling you, like, if the first step is getting into your car and driving around the corner to find some place to go look at a listing, and just get in your car. Like, I mean, there's no other way around it. Like, I didn't want to go for a bike ride today. And it's funny because like I post more like behind the scenes stuff for my life, and I've been posting all my bike ride miles for the past like couple months, and people are like, yo, you didn't go on a bike ride today. And I have people that I don't know holding me accountable going for a bike ride. But I went on a bike ride today and I didn't want to go. All I did was I opened the garage and I put my bike in the driveway, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start pedaling this bike. And I went on like a 40-minute bike ride, which is like very short for me, but I did like, I was going fast. So it was like 8 miles or something like that. So it's like 12. It was like my fastest pace yet. And I have a like basic ass bike. I don't know. But yeah, like, just get started, figure out a way to make it super easy for you to do, and figure out ways to have fun. And if that means going out and getting different equipment and trying new things, or renting equipment from different camera stores, like, go do that, learn something new. And yeah, you'll never run out of like motivation if you constantly figure out new ways to have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a challenge with that. Sometimes I have to get out of my head, and I'm making content, not thinking about, wait, what does Drake like to have fun when making this stuff? Because that's always the videos that come out the best. So in the spirit of talking more about entrepreneurship and specifically you, so you went from working for a company called YLOPO, which is how we originally met, to now you're really running your own business, doing your own thing. So what was that, driving force, and, how are you reinventing what you're doing every single day?
I think it just comes down to two things. The first thing is my realization that I'm 20. At the time I was 25, 26 now, is like 6 months ago. That if I don't do it now, I probably will never do it. So that was the first thing. And the second thing is a combination of two things. It's not doing the things that I do not want to do, and also not doing the things that I don't believe in. And a good example of that is like a company that I've been doing work with wanted me to create some YouTube videos for them. I won't say the name of the company, but I get the YouTube video script, and it's basically like here's the exact formula we used. And if you look this up on YouTube, you're not going to find it. The video's not posted because I didn't make it. So the script is, my 1 billion views strategy for like creating short form content. And I'm like, first of all, you got the guy who has never gotten 1 billion views total, not even close, making the video for you. So right off the bat, I don't believe in it. Number 2, in the video script, they say that you have to post 3 to 5 times per day on YouTube Shorts. And I'm like, great. Meanwhile, in all my content and everything I do, I've never posted more than once. So you can pay me all you want to do this. Like, I just don't believe in it. So I'm not going to do this. And I just basically stopped it there. So it's kind of what I did with my job too. Like, I wanted to do more content creation, but like also, the real estate market was in a downturn. And I honestly I don't know. Like I think there were different ways. I mean, for certain clients, for sure, like it works 1,000,000%. But I was just not having fun, basically pitching things and trying to get people on things that I didn't fully believe in, like 1,000,000%. Just felt uncomfortable, right? So I was like, I can't do this full time. I love the product. I love the company. I mean, I would never say anything bad about the company, but it's uncomfortable when you're in a position to push things that you don't necessarily believe in. And I just wanted to build something that I did believe in. And if it wasn't now, it wouldn't be ever. So I could be sitting here still not happy in a job I don't like. And I decided that I didn't want that to be the case, no matter how risky it was. Luckily, I had made enough money to give myself like 12 months of a cushion to really try it. And we are halfway through and it seems to be working. So we're doing all right.
That's good, man. That's great to hear. So with all of this, what would you say is the things that you do outside of your business that are allowing you to show up and be present to continue growing?
I leave my room. That is the number one thing that you should do. So my structure, I have a routine that my morning is, I hate to use the word sacred, but it's kind of sacred. From like 7 a.m. until noon, I am just in work mode. I really don't go on my phone unless I'm like on Instagram stories, like selling things, telling people what I'm working on. But from 7 a.m. to noon, I mean, I probably get more done in that 5-hour span than 98% of people get done in 8 hours. It's kind of unhealthy. I kind of think about it. Like I don't move, literally do not move from a seat for 5 hours. I don't eat breakfast. I just work and I'm just locked in. I don't know. Like it doesn't feel like work. Like I wake up, I jump out of bed, I do this for 5 hours. And by 12 o'clock, I'm like, all right, I did enough for the day for basically the entire week, which is why I think I'm able to get things done so quickly because I just work so intensely. But I'm able to do that, I think, because I know when to stop and when to not burn myself out. Like if I didn't have my bike right now, I would be miserable. I just got to get outside and do things. And I think if you're just starting, you're probably going to end up in a place where you really love it and you're going to become obsessed with it for a very short period of time. And then you're just going to get bored of it. So the goal for you, I think, if you're just starting, is to, like, those stories of like personal trainers during New Year's resolutions. People come in and like, I'm going to start working out eight times a week. I'm like, no, you're not. You don't go from 0 to 8. It's just not how it works. You got to pace yourself. So I think you should do that with content too, and not get super excited about like when a video goes viral, when it does happen, or how many views this video got, or this video sucked, and getting discouraged. Like just focus on posting, making sure you can post at least once per day to start, and getting to a place like that. And just, it's like 95% of it is just mental health. Like, basically treat yourself like you would treat somebody else that you care about. Just do that. Like it's like just going outside and taking a walk for 15 minutes is going to help you a lot too.
Yeah.
Cold plunges. If you do cold plunges, that's all you. I've tried it. I kind of like it, but I can't do it every day. But it definitely helps.
They're rough. I guess an easier segue to that one, I've been told, is the cold showers. Those anytime I've taken those, I definitely can feel that bit of high that you get from it.
The first time I did it, I was in a hot tub, and then I went into the cold plunge, and like my entire body stung, and I'm like, this is not good. Like this should not feel like this right now. And they were like, yeah, you should not go into a hot tub and then go into a cold plunge. So now I do the reverse. And yeah, your body like stings when you go into the hot tub after.
Yeah.
It's brutal, but it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. You're sitting there for like 5 minutes. Your body's completely red. Putting myself through pain.
I like to find moments of relatability that everybody can probably find with you. So I like to ask a bit of a deeper question, but what do you think you fear the most in your life, in your business? What's a fear that you have to fight on a regular basis? Because I'm sure other people may have that in common with you, and I always think that's helpful to hear that they're not alone in that feeling.
Yeah, probably. I was going to say one sentence, and I don't want to go any further than that. Probably just ending up like my parents did. That's like, I don't talk to anybody about that stuff. Like, I avoid it as much as possible.
Yeah, it's tough, man. We all have past experiences or things that kind of shape us to who we are. Sometimes it's the driving force, and sometimes it's the weight that we feel like we carry on a regular basis. Is there anything that's helped you with that? Move past that?
The way that I kind of explain it is like, if you're in a plane, like if you're listening to this on a plane, stop the episode, just go to the by the way, first thing I would do, I mean, just yeah, this is how I think about it, right? Like if I'm on a plane's going down, you see fire out the window, the pilot comes on, the person who was trained to keep you in the air comes on and say, listen, a disaster is imminent, like, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, I would like to say my body would go into fight or flight mode. Honestly, I would just be like, all right, this is it. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. It's kind of how I think about things that have happened in my family. And I've just come to the realization that, you can't help other people that don't want to help themselves. You can only try it so many times, and you should only focus on the things you can control. And if the plane's going down, the plane's going down. Like, don't try to jump out of the plane and pull a Superman move and keep it in the air. It's not going to happen. Like, you're human. So let things happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. It's going to suck. Like, it's really going to suck, but you'll get past it.
Yeah. I love that. That's an important analogy, that sometimes our job is not to fix everybody, right? Sometimes it's just to hold our own pieces together with the things that we have to deal with. I've definitely been there. So I appreciate your vulnerability in that. I wanted to ask you, these are also some kind of fun questions that I like to get out of everybody, but what are you listening to? What are you watching? And what are you reading currently?
Listening? I've been thinking about, I was going to make like an Instagram story about this, but like for me, so I'm 26. My like end of middle school / high school, like summer playlist was 2012 to 2014, 2015. And I'm just listening to like the summer hits of those. So like you get Mirrors, Justin Timberlake, Suit and Tie, Justin Timberlake, Jay-Z. There's like so many good, like Daft Punk, Random Access Memories from 2013. I think that came out. The 10-year anniversary was last year. I don't know, like the beginning of the summer, like I had like fantastic childhood summers. I played Yu-Gi-Oh. You probably don't even know what Yu-Gi-Oh is. If you do.
I do.
Oh, you do? All right, yeah. We played Yu-Gi-Oh every single day. I was like a Yu-Gi-Oh pro. Freaking every card that was worth anything. I had the 5 pieces of Exodia. People listening are probably like, all right, you lost me. I'm going to the next episode. But like just music that, like, I love the summer, and that's why like I had the great childhood summers. I'm like, even 2012 to 2015 ish was great, and I was 14 to 17. Yeah, 14 to 17. I will listen to that music. Right now, I am reading this book, $1 Million Weekend. It's all right. I like it. It's very basic, but I only
What's the premise?
What's up?
What's the premise?
So the author has like run. So he was like number 30 at Facebook and number something at a different company. I don't know, but he started like 8 different $1 million plus companies. The one that he runs right now is like 70 million. Basically just shows people how to find ideas that people need help with and how to create a product around it, and then how to market that product within 48 hours, basically. And he has this 48-hour money challenge where he essentially validates how well a product will do by just getting 3 people to commit to paying him for it. And it's pretty interesting, like how easy it is to get people to pay you for what you know. I did it today. Like I literally did this today. I started a course over the weekend. I made the first 2 modules and I was like, all right, before I go any further, do I want to commit at least 20 to 40 more hours to this before I realize that nobody wants it? So I was like, all right, I'm going to go out. I'm going to put this up for pre-sale right now. You get the first 2 modules done. It's packed with value in there. I'm going to discount it by like 80%. Right. So right now, I basically just put it on my Instagram story. I emailed a few people, texted a few people. Yeah, like 5 people buy it. Right. It's $80. So like, I know it's going to work. Like people are interested in it. And it's not just real estate. Right. It's basically showing you like, all right, here's what you should do to research a video. Here's how you write a video. Here's how you record the video. Here's how you edit the video and then post it. Right. So everything I've been teaching people for the past 4 years is in that course. So maybe a shameless plug right there. Yeah, like I read it and I get excited and I try it and it works. I'm like, all right, let me just keep, maybe this guy's onto something. He's worth a couple $100 million. Maybe he knows what he's talking about. But yeah, that's what I'm reading. Watching Great British Baking Show. Great show, by the way. You gotta
love that
it.
show.
Yeah,
it's
everyone
so laughs and makes fun of me. I think it's great. It's so fun.
It's so good. Like everything is the entire every episode is the exact same, and you want to keep watching. It's crazy.
They're so passionate about baking, but I think it's the accents, their lifestyle. I don't know. It's just great.
Yeah, and the characters, they find like the best people to represent like bakers in that show too. It's like so diverse, and everyone looks just so different, and they act so differently.
Yeah,
there's some people that you don't like, and you're like, I hope they go home, and they do, and you're like, yes. But I watched like every season. I think I've watched every single season, and I'm very good at predicting who wins, at least in the finals. But yeah, that's a good also relating that to content. Like that's kind of how I structure my videos. I'm like, all right, if they can put out like 10 seasons of literally the same episode every time, something is working. Maybe I should figure out how they do it. And for anybody who hasn't seen the show, they do a technical. I think they do 2 technicals, right? Like the first one, everybody has the same, or everybody has to do their own spin on a specific recipe. The second challenge, everybody has the same recipe, but they have very vague instructions. So they have to kind of like fill in the gaps and make their own. And you know exactly what they're making. And then they're judged blindly. So like the judges who are professional bakers, like they don't know whose is who. And then they rate them like 1 through 8. And then there's what's called a showstopper, where you have just like basically 3 things you need to do, and you can do it in any way possible, and it's all timed. So like you have 3.5 hours to make a 3-tiered cake, yada yada yada, right? And like every episode somebody is the star baker, every episode somebody goes home, and it's that every episode is that. And you can binge watch that thing all day. So I'm like, all right, how can I apply this to my content? And that's also seems to be working. So everything comes back full circle. No matter what I do, it's all focused on marketing.
Yeah. Well, if our listeners want to connect with you, what is the best way for them to get in touch? And we'll, of course, put everything in the show notes as well.
Yeah. I do change my Instagram handle quite a bit. I think I'm going to keep it the way it is now. It's Gannon, Gannon .Meyer, Meyer. That's on Instagram. On YouTube, it is youtube.com/@GannonMeyer. I forget. It's just my name. You search my name, you'll find me. I'm probably wearing a backwards hat and a crazy shirt. And if not, I was probably not having a good day. So that's what I do now. Crazy shirt or backwards hat like I have on right now. No crazy shirt today, but I was going to wear one. If anybody needs any crazy shirt recommendations, go to roosevelts.com, RSVLTS. The best shirts on the market. It's amazing.
Good little tip there. We appreciate it. You're getting fashion advice.
No affiliate links. That's just go there and buy one.
That's the bonus on this episode, fashion advice with everything. Yeah. Gannon, I can't thank you enough so much for tuning in with us. I know everybody's going to be so excited to learn all these things and find ways that even they can connect with you. I encourage you guys, go follow him. I love his content. I've been obsessed with it for years. He's taught me so much about my own content. So definitely connect with him. But again, we thank you so much. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review online. We would love to hear feedback, and it helps others, of course, find this show as well. So I am forever grateful if you would leave us a review. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode.
Thank you for diving into the world of entrepreneurial grit, personal growth, and financial mastery. Drake is here to arm you with the necessary toolkit to cultivate, nurture, and realize your groundbreaking ideas. Keep journeying with us by tuning in to subsequent episodes at deepdivewithdrake.com. The path to a flourishing entrepreneurial life is within reach if you commandeer your professional voyage and steadfastly chase your ambitions. See you on the next highly engaging episode. Until next time.